What if I told you that you could spend 20 to 30 years of your life saving for retirement, accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million, quit your job and still not feel free? Everyone thinks retirement is just all about the money. But retirement has two boxes: what you're retiring from and what you're retiring to. And most people obsess over the first one. But if you only check one box, you're paying full price for something, but only getting half the value. And that's the trap that a lot of people overlook. Because if you misunderstand these two boxes, you can do everything right financially and still feel like something's wrong. Something's not adding up. So let's talk about that today. Now, box number one is retiring from work. No more alarm clocks, no boss, no 40-hour weeks, no more meetings. That's the box that everyone is obsessed with, and rightfully so. I mean, duh. After decades of structure and deadlines, many of us were ready for relief. But here's what people don't tell you. The relief, it's powerful for a while. 6 weeks in, it feels amazing. 6 months, still good. A year in, that's when the newness, it starts to fade. And that's when box number two starts demanding attention. Because removing something from your life, like your job, creates a vacuum. And we know vacuums, they never stay empty. Now, box number two is retiring to something, which could be purpose, growth, community, structure, somewhere to go, maybe a third place, a reason to get out of bed. Now, money, that can buy box number one. Money does not automatically give you box number two. And that can be the uncomfortable truth. So now let's think about this from the practical side. Retirement, it's expensive. It's expensive on the backside where we've spent decades and decades saving for it. We've delayed gratification. We pass on things. We stay in jobs longer than we probably should. We make sacrifices to fund our future. So let me ask you something. If you're paying full price for retirement, and remember the price is from the past and the price is what it actually costs you to be able to stop working. If you're going to pay full price for retirement, why would you settle for only half the value? Why would you only retire from work and not to a life that energizes you? That's like buying the whole house and only living in one room. Technically, you own it, but you're not fully using all of it. And as a member of Gen X, I know that we're disciplined. We know how to plan, we know how to save, but are we designing a life on the other side of work? Have we truly put enough thought into that? Now let's make this real, because this isn't just theory, because it'll usually start showing up about 6 to 18 months post-retirement. And it doesn't show up as something dramatic. It usually shows up as just underwhelming. Now, a lot of people think, I just need a year to decompress and just relax. And that's fair, because after almost a lifetime of work, that's a great reward. So, for that first year, you sleep in, you catch up on your reading and TV shows, you take that trip, you get all those house projects done. And for the first few months, it even feels earned, deserved even. But here's the danger. If you drift too long without structure, decompression can quietly turn into stagnation. And Gen X, we're not wired for monotony. Our generation is used to being self-reliant and fixing things. And we're not going to operate very well, I don't think, in a life that doesn't have a problem to solve. Let me just paint this scenario for you. Imagine this. You wake up, there's no alarm, but there's really no compelling reason to get out of bed yet. So you just lay in bed and you just scroll on your phone for a while. Before you know it, it's lunchtime. Nothing really exciting that you can remember happened in the afternoon. You putter around a little bit, have dinner. Bedtime comes along. Nothing was bad, but nothing really mattered either. Now multiply that by weeks, then months. And then sleep times, they start getting inconsistent. Movement slows down. Inactivity starts to rule the day. Goals, they disappear, and days just blur together. Retirement without intention can quietly become decline. But here even is where this can get a little complicated. And I started not to include this part in this video today, but I know that it's a situation for many Gen Xers who have retirement on their brain. But there are other things that are going on in their life that maybe aren't completely allowing them the kind of retirement that they had pictured. Let me explain. Because freedom isn't always about having enough money. It's not always about having a purpose lined up for after you retire. There's also another layer. There's a structural layer. And many times there are constraints that seem hidden to everyone else, except for those that find themselves in it. And this could be your situation. A parent that needs increasing care, needs you to step in. A spouse with health challenges. An adult child who isn't fully stable yet. Even grandkids that you're helping to raise. And those aren't financial problems. Those are structural realities. And money doesn't automatically remove them or fix them. You can hit your retirement number, even your retirement age, and still feel like you can't escape because of the responsibilities that you hold. Now, you might have retirement pictured in your mind as being full of travel, as checking off all those national parks. But in reality, you're coordinating doctor visits. You're helping with childcare 3 days a week. You're managing medications. And none of that is wrong. All of that, it's honorable. But it's not the same thing as the freedom you pictured. So before you celebrate hitting your retirement number, ask yourself, if I retire tomorrow, would I truly be free to live the retirement life that I imagined? Or would I only be checking box number 1? Because if you don't account for these realities ahead of time, retirement can end up feeling like a lateral move instead of a next and new chapter. But let's go deeper, because even if you solve the money problem, even if you solve the obligations, there's still another thing left, and that's identity. Now, for decades, when someone asks you, what do? You have an answer for them. Your job, in many ways, anchors your identity. It structures your week. It pays your bills. In a lot of ways, it can shape your social life. It even gives you relevance. Then in retirement, that's gone. And suddenly you're not needed in the same ways. And for some, that shift is a lot bigger than they expect. And if you feel like this could possibly be a problem for you after you retire, then start working on that new identity now. And maybe that has something to do with your career or your field. Or maybe you want to take it in a totally different direction. And it could be mentoring. It could be building something using your creative skills. It could be consulting part-time. It could be deciding to get in the best shape of your entire life. And none of that is just busy work. No, it's personal growth. So here's the real trap. It's not running out of money. It's running out of meaning. And no spreadsheet can calculate that. Retirement has 2 boxes. Retiring from something and retiring to something. Box number 1 gives you relief. Box number 2 gives you a life. And if you only focus on the first one, that's only a half value retirement. You're definitely not getting your money's worth. And Gen X, we have worked too hard for that. So don't just drift into retirement on autopilot. Don't just be concerned with the dollars and cents. Don't think of it just as an escape hatch. Treat it like a redesign. What will your days look like? What will challenge you? Where will your sense of progress, where will that come from? Now, of course, money, it's important. Retirement's not free, and it does take money to play the game. And if you're focused on how you're going to save for retirement in this shaky system that we seem to find ourselves in, Gen X, then watch this video next. How Gen X can retire even if the system is broken. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.